Walmart's got knockoff buddy heaters. Let me try it before you buy it. See if it's worth the money or if this product's just funny.
That's still cringy.
It's kind of growing on me. Before we get to testing this heater, I gotta get a couple more things. So now that we're back at the Spackman testing facility, there's a few things that I need to test with both of these heaters. We have the Ozark Trail 10,000 BTU buddy heater knockoff, and here is the 9,000 BTU buddy heater. We're gonna test the low oxygen shutoff sensor, the tipping sensor, and just how hot these things get and how long they'll run off of 1 pound propane tanks. We're also gonna be testing out this sweet fan for the buddy heater. This company came out with a bracket that attaches straight to the buddy heater. It does not attach to the Ozark Trail one. I lied. It works on this one too. It just sits right on top of the grate. But the buddy heater it attaches to, and we're putting this to the test. We're gonna see how much air or how much heat this moves in your tent. At the end of this video, I'm also drawing the winner for the sunflower heater from Fire Maple. So without further ado, let's get these tests running. Last night, I set up 2 identical tents, one with the Ozark Trail heater, one with the buddy heater, and both of them had brand new 1 pound Coleman propane tanks. Right off the bat, you could tell that the 10,000 BTU heater put out more heat than the 9,000 BTU heater. I got a max heat out of the Ozark Trail heater of 111. Of 113 degrees Fahrenheit, and a max temp out of the buddy heater of 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's not how much heat came out of them, that's how hot they got these tents side by side. With the Ozark Trail heater, I had a carbon monoxide detector with a digital display of parts per million carbon monoxide. And when I checked it after the O2 sensor, it was up to 26 parts per million of carbon monoxide inside of this tent. I wanted to make sure that it was because of the O2 sensor that carbon monoxide was released, because both of these stoves claim that they're carbon monoxide free. So I then tested the Mr. Buddy heater with the low oxygen sensor, and this too produced carbon monoxide. Not as much as the 10,000, but the 9,000 put out, I think it was 16. It smells like propane really bad. Mm, 11. So carbon monoxide did come out with the buddy heater too. 16 parts per million carbon monoxide. Now you might be thinking that that's bad. 16 and 26 parts per million in a small tent like this. But to put it into perspective, this is a carbon monoxide detector inside of an Amazon delivery box with the exhaust from my Jeep filling it, and within seconds it went over the limit of 999 parts per million and the alarm sounded. So for 26 and 16, that is not that big, and it's only when the low oxygen sensor kicks off anyways. When both of the tanks ran out of gas, neither of them produced carbon monoxide. During my test, neither of them produced carbon monoxide while they were still on. The only time they did was during the low oxygen shutoff. So this one being 10,000 BTUs is definitely hotter than the 9,000 BTU buddy heater. But my run times on the 1 pound propane tank on high, the knockoff Mr. Buddy heater lasted for 2 hours and 20 minutes on high with a max heat of 113 Fahrenheit. The Mr. Buddy heater, this is where they get different. Just the 1,000 difference in BTUs, the Mr. Buddy heater ran for 3 hours and 15 minutes, almost a whole hour more, with only a 15 degree temperature difference in Fahrenheit between the two inside of these tents. You get almost a whole extra hour out of the Buddy heater just from the 1,000 BTUs. Price differences. This Buddy heater you can find on sale for about $75. The Ozark Trail heater, full price is $49. So there's a $25 difference between the Ozark Trail knockoff and the Mr. Buddy heater. That's not that huge of a difference compared to run times of these and the heat that both of them give out. So the last thing to test with the Ozark Trail heater, it's currently on. I'm not sure if you can see this, but there is heat coming out of it. It's the tip over sensor. So when I tip this over, it should shut off and not continue to heat so it doesn't burn down your tent or your house, depending on where you have this heating. So let's see. I feel no more heat coming from it. Let's tip it up. It is not on anymore. So the tip over sensor works. I do smell propane, but that's just residual. You cannot hear it. You cannot hear it spewing out. I will now turn it on so you can hear the gas leaking without it being fired up. That's the gas right there. So now let's talk about this little heat-powered fan that was designed for buddy heaters. Hi, Remy dog. Remy break. Go play. I'm pretty skeptical about how this fan would work on a buddy heater, but I set up another test inside of the Acacia tent, which is a much bigger tent than these A-frames. So with just the buddy heater running, I had two thermometers in different places inside of the tent, both about 5 feet from this heater. And when I started, they were both at 58 and 50 degrees from 5 feet away. Within 15 minutes of turning this fan on, the 58 degrees went up to 67 degrees, and the 50 degrees went up to 64 degrees. So there was a difference, a rise in temperature from one end of the tent to the other of over 10 degrees for both of them. So the fan was definitely pushing the heat to the other side of the tent. That was a pretty cool test. I held a leaf in front of the fan and I could not feel the heat whatsoever. But science doesn't lie, and that was scientific right there. Genius at work. So what do I got to say about this Ozark Trail knockoff buddy heater? They're two different heaters. This one puts out more heat, but doesn't last as long. The buddy heater is time-tested, camper-approved. It's been used for years, but in my testing, they kind of perform side by side pretty darn well. Is it worth the money? I'd say so. So Walmart, take my money. All right, time to draw the winner for the sunflower heater from Fire Maple. All right, ULL's in. Allowed duplicates, anything goes. 362 comments, oh wow. Pick a winner. Chris Warnecki, 8238. All right, Chris, you won. Contact me at my email address, adventureswithspackman@gmail.com. Spackman has 2 N's. You have 2 weeks to contact me or I'm drawing another winner. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next one.